Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Hello everyone, and today we're connecting from London to Australia. We continue this amazing podcast series, How Brave Entrepreneurs Brave this world and achieve the first million in sales. Today we have the pleasure to have David, which is tech entrepreneur. So please, David, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me, Harry. I'm Dave Fastuca, currently CEO and co-founder of GrowthForum.io. Pleasure to be
Wow.
here.
Okay, thank you so much. So GrowthForum, that sounds fantastic, yeah? So tell me a little bit more about what are we growing? Are we growing businesses? Are we growing tech businesses? What is it growing?
Great question, Harry. So basically what Growth Forum is, we're a sales education platform where we like a bit of a hybrid. So we've got a B2B course that you can take and consume on your own in your own time. We run weekly coaching calls where you get access to myself and my co-founder Luigi. And then we also have an asynchronous chat, which means it's a bit like Slack type approach where
Mm-hmm.
you can ask us any question at any time based on your sales process. You might be stuck with a proposal and you can't cut through to a particular customer. We help coach you through to achieving your goals. So we primarily target B2B customers, whether they're in tech, service, but basically selling like a high ticket item. So, think of it something that, you charge $1,000 and above. It's not for a technology business that sells $30 a license type thing. And we help create you a system that you can install into your business to help win deals more predictably. So that sums up what Growth Forum is about.
Wow. So David, especially in so here's the thing, right? The sales is something that is the most important element in business. Without sales, nothing happens.
Correct.
Yeah, and so and B2B sometimes is a little bit challenging for the startups that they're they don't have credibility, they don't have enough traction, right?
hmm
And so what can you share with us that you guys can help the founders out there, right? Trying to reach the first 0 to 1 million in sales, what they should be doing if they would like to get better results approaching the B2B
Yeah.
clients.
Well, first, it starts with your mindset. You want to have a sales mindset that what you're producing, whether it be a product or service, you want to be clear on who it is that you serve. So who are you selling to? How do you help them? And how do you differentiate yourselves from others in the marketplace? Then you want to segment that and you want to understand, okay, so based out of this industry that we target, who specifically do we want to target now? So I see it so many times where you get an entrepreneur and you say, who do you sell to? And they say, everyone in tech. And we're like, okay, great. That's
Wow,
amazing. That's
very
a big
broad.
TAM. But niche it down, because what would happen there is that your messaging will sound quite vanilla. It won't really hit the mark. So what we often say is that if you can really pinpoint your messaging to one persona, one particular buyer, and really hit that person right where it hurts, their pains. So if you can speak to me specifically, you're going to have more success. Now, yes, you're going to carve out a portion of the market because you might alienate a certain demographic or industry, but the riches are in the niches, and you want
Agree
to really
100%.
focus. Yeah, and you really want to focus down. And once you've nailed that category and that segment, and you've got a large portion of it, then you can look to expand out into other areas. Otherwise, if you're trying to boil the ocean, you'll never get there. But if you try to boil water in a cup, it's a far easier for you to do. And it makes your marketing efforts, it makes your spending, your messaging that much more focused, and you're not just spraying and praying.
Yeah, and we often ask the business owners, right? Because sometimes we ask them, who is your client? Who's your customer? and what business are you really in? And sometimes the answer of this question is deeper what they think. And
Exactly.
I think that until they don't find out, they can answer these two questions sometimes very clear. It's going to be very difficult that they can hit the target market that they want to achieve sales, right?
Exactly, exactly. And look, everyone has this problem. We had this problem, right? Because what we do in GrowthForum can apply to pretty much any business that sells business services to another business. But again, our messaging can be quite, plain. So now we revamped that to focus on founders, right? So, our messaging now is focused on B2B founders that want to install a sales operating system that can help them deliver predictable revenue so that their sales team can win more deals. That's very clear messaging on who it's for and how it helps. But before that, it was a bit more vague, right? So again, we're cutting out a segment of the market and we're okay with that because we want to really own and focus on that niche of helping founders build a system so they can grow their business.
So, David, you guys develop the software. Do you
So,
have a
so we do.
software?
No, it's actually a sales operating system. So it's a sales process, right? It's a sales framework playbook that you apply to your business, right? And what we call it a system is because, like any sort of operations that you have within your business, if you have a system in place that is
Of
easy to
course.
follow with step-by-step process that you can then hand over to your team with some guidance that they follow those steps and then they can achieve similar to or the same results that you were achieving before. So that's where we're moving away from saying, okay, here's a playbook or here's something that a bunch of things that you can follow, where we package it up into a formulated system that you can install, bringing in that technology terminology because people understand it's something where I can easily plug into the business. So it's a series of frameworks, strategies, scripts, and messaging frameworks that you can apply and tailor to your business, and a real defined process that you can then copy paste, install, in inverted commas, and apply to your business to achieve the same results that we're helping others to achieve.
So you guys only specialize in B2B, or also you do business to consumer as well, B2C?
We primarily focus on B2B due to the nature of a lot of the frameworks we have uh, involve like a buying committee, or they're quite those high level deals where $100,000 deal plus, and there's a discovery process. But we do have people who get a lot of benefit and who have enrolled into the program who are B2C and apply what we teach in that mindset methodology into their industry and are getting great results. But again, focusing on our niche, right? We could go out and go after B2C if we want, but then, we don't want to be that, we target everyone because then, I contradict myself in what I said earlier on niching down and
Exactly.
finding
That's
your
that's
ideal
your
persona.
that's why you specialize in the B2B.
Correct.
That's fantastic. And then David, here's the thing. Talking about business, sometimes we have in the B2B situation, right? The longer that is the deal. I mean, the more
Mm.
money gets involved, the longer it takes to close, right?
Look, it varies. So Luigi, my co-founder, like he's the master of sales. We got into business together. He originally coached me in my previous business, which was a technology business. It was a business travel tech software platform, and he was coaching me to how to sell this platform during COVID. So you can imagine how hard and
Wow.
difficult. That's right, right. So no one was traveling at that time, so no one had the need at that time for a business travel platform. Like, why? We can't go anywhere.
Oh,
Everything's done
that
on
was your
Zoom.
tech business before?
Correct.
Business
Yeah.
travel. Wow.
So, but what we
That
did
was
was we
hard in
changed.
COVID, yeah.
Oh, yeah, very hard. But COVID was probably our biggest selling period because we
Wow.
changed it. We changed the narrative, right? We changed the messaging, and we're like through Louis' guidance, he was like, okay, so coming out of COVID, there's going to be a lot more risks when people travel. There's a lot more checks that a business has to have in play. And there's a lot more duty of care that they need to take and ensure that they cover off in the business and from an insurance perspective. So our approach was to lead with that type of messaging, go after the people who within a business that look after risk. And it might be, depending on how big the business is, it might be the CEO, the CFO, and lead with the messaging of when COVID starts to ease, will you be ready? Right. And that messaging there really resonated and worked. So, and then we, got a lot of customers during that time. But to tackle your first question there about the bigger the deal size, the longer it takes, Luigi has been testing this framework that we've developed in a industry that does take a long time or is known for that, which is in franchise sales.
Ah,
Right. So they're
wow.
in that. He's coaching a health franchise here in Australia, and it's also in the US. And usually it would take around 180 days from first meeting to closing the deal. And these deals were roughly around 200 to $250,000 because you're setting up a whole business and franchise.
Mhm.
Through, I think, about a few weeks of tinkering around with the process and applying what GrowthForum does, he was able to reduce that to 27 days. And to prove it that it worked, he went in there as a non-employee and actually sold 2 franchises using the system to prove that it works, to then hand over to that business to then go out and give it to their franchise network to go on and start to generate their own sales. So it all depends on the type of business, the industry they're in, and who's involved and how they're going to, the budget constraints that they have. But, there's no hard defined rule that, $1 million deal is going to take 8 months. It could take 7 days, depending on who you're talking to, how big is the need,
If it
and
is
where they
if it
are on the
is
buying journey.
fantastic, yeah. And then what happened with the travel business?
Yeah,
You
so I
still have it?
co-founded that. Yeah, I still got it. So I co-founded it with my cousin, Ross. He's running the business fully. He's running it as CEO. I was the co-founder and CMO. So I was looking after the marketing and sales side. After we got out of COVID, we had built it up. We had did a round of funding, built the team, and I felt it was probably good timing for me to move on
Mm-hmm.
from that business. I really enjoyed the marketing and sales element and really loved that. But I wanted
That's
to
what you're
go out.
passionate about, right?
Yeah, it's what I'm passionate about. And then at the same time, Luigi was looking for a change within his career. So, sort of the stars aligned, and I said, hey, let's do something together. And that's where Grow Forum was born. And I get to work on sales and marketing every day now, which is awesome.
Which is what you love, yeah.
Exactly,
I love
exactly.
the name. The name is fantastic. The name
Thank
is
you. Thank
brilliant.
you. It's
Yeah.
always hard to come up with a name. And then you got to
Oh,
try
tell
and
me about
find
it.
the domain name. And then you got to try
Uh,
and register it. That can take forever. As an entrepreneur, everyone
oh
here
yeah,
is
and
thinking of their
everything is
names.
taken, but the this one is short, direct to the point. Brilliant.
Yeah, look, naming and branding is when we talk about starting a business is a big thing. You can be really direct and point out what you do in your name, or you can have something very random like
Mm-hmm.
Google. Like, what does Google mean? Right
Yeah,
now, it's a verb. Just Google it. But when I first started, it's just a name. It's a brand.
exactly.
It's what you turn it into and what it becomes later. But yeah, naming is such a tough challenge for entrepreneurs. You can spend a lot of time on that. That's
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
So I think for tech entrepreneurs, right? The message that we always share here is that um, they the tech entrepreneurs out there, they don't allow enough resources to the sales, especially in the B2B side. And I don't think that because of their tech people, right? Just because they don't have experience, that they take into consideration how much it costs to acquire a client, especially a B2B client, and um, and
Yeah,
how
that's
difficult
often
it
very
is if you don't
challenging.
have a mentor, if you don't have someone that knows how to do this. Um, they can be hitting against the wall and not closing the deal because this it sounds easy. Oh, sales and marketing for a tech company, but it's extremely complex when the founder don't have authority, when nobody knows them, when they have a product out there that they have to take it to market, and you go, it's like knocking 100 doors. Do you want to buy this? No. Do you want to buy this? No. Do you want to buy this? No. It's very frustrating, and it's a it takes a lot of a lot of energy with the founders try to look for this B2B client in the wrong direction.
It
So
is, but the thing is here, right? It's like you mentioned earlier, it's the most important thing. As a if
I agree
as a tech
100%.
entrepreneur, yeah, as a tech entrepreneur, you love your product. It's your baby. You build an amazing product, and it's very easy to spend a lot of time on building it because it feels safe. It's what you know. You can make a change here or there. In technology, a product is never complete, so you can work on it forever. But you need to get it into a customer's hand as quickly as possible to ensure what you're building actually provides value enough that someone's going to pay you for it, right?
Because if you
The
don't sell
life
it, you have nothing.
exactly. Now, you're not going to know the LTV, which means lifetime value of a customer, when you're going from 0 to 1 because you don't have one yet. You don't have a customer. You haven't been in business for long. You haven't been uh, generating revenue for months on end. So you don't know. And that's okay, right? So put that to the side. What you want to sort of understand is what does it take and what does it cost to get a booked meeting through to then a proposal sent out if you do proposals and then to a closed deal. And then as you get 10, 20, 30 of those, you start to get a bit of a pattern and you start to understand what it takes to attract a visitor to a booked meeting, to a closed deal, and what you can invest into that. Because it's never been more expensive than it has been nowadays for paid media, for SEO. There's a lot of effort, right? With the introduction of AI, there's never been so much more content out there to consume. There's 1,000 newsletters out there that you can sign up to. There's no shortage of content that's out there. And what it used to cost $1 on Meta and Instagram to generate a lead, now might cost you $10 to get that
Worse,
same
price
lead.
went up, right? Big time, yeah,
That's
right?
right.
After
There's
COVID.
so much more businesses. That's it. So you need to understand. So to go to the primary point here, what you're building on and what you're working on, you want to make sure is valuable. So you need to get into the customer's hand as quickly as possible, and then ensure that it's valuable where they're ready to hand over their credit card and actually pay you for it. Then
and
build from there.
and knowledge and expertise is important because tech entrepreneur dive in oh, this is my product, gonna use Facebook advertising and to sell it and to get to the B2B. You can be spending a fortune and
Exactly.
don't get the results because it's not as easy as I think. Sometimes when I spoke with tech entrepreneurs, I'm telling this, you think that is easy, but it's more complex to set the product than actually to do the tech that you have done.
Oh, look, I think there's a great saying that first time founders focus on the product, second time founders focus on distribution, right? Which
I
means
agree 100%.
yeah, it's easy to look. I'd say it's easier now than ever to build a product. It's harder than ever now to sell and market a product. So anytime I'm looking at a new investment opportunity, the product should be great. I'm already demanding that the product is great, it works, and
This is
people want it.
the
That's a
minimum that you need
guarantee.
to have a chance, right?
That's right. That's the minimum. Yes, you got a good product, 100%. How are you going to get this in front of people? What does it cost you to get a customer? Is that customer profitable, or does it take you 6 months to earn back what you invested into that customer? That's the primary focus. And what happens is the more and more customers you get, the bigger and bigger and bigger that you get, the more over time it's going to cost you to acquire. So if you're a low margin business and your percentage of profit is small, it's going to be really challenging for you to build a bigger business, depending on what your goal is. So it's all these little economics and things you need to really understand so you can see if your business is actually viable and to be sustainable if you need to hire people as well.
Hmm.
This only comes with a lot of gray hairs or losing hair, as we both
Yeah,
have.
yeah. The equation become complex and complex. However, I think that tech entrepreneurs never sometimes don't understand the value of having a client because by having one client, is already validating that what you actually created, it works. There is demand for it. And then
Correct.
by having this client, you can find another one. However, this client is, let's face it, having a client for a tech company is even better than having an investor, because it
That's
increases
it. It's
value.
someone,
Yeah, and
it
a lot
creates
of tech
value.
entrepreneurs, they create the product. Oh, I'm gonna look funding. I'm gonna look for funding. Let me look for the money. I need the money. I need the money to continue. And I'm like, hey, if you find a client, this is 100 times better than finding an investor. Why everybody put all the energy, time, and effort in trying to find an investor, and then the most important thing of the business that you have to do anyway, because even you bring the investor, if you don't sell it, you have nothing. Correct?
Exactly. And look, look, I've done founding rounds before. My cousin just led another one now
Oh
for Locomote.
wow, the travel
Um,
race again.
yeah, it
Wow,
raised
you
again.
guys are very good. You are selling clearly, because
Yeah,
otherwise you
look,
don't raise.
that's right. Look, the team are doing great. They're winning customers.
Wow.
There's a road to profitability there. It's very clear. They know what they're doing, which is great. But what I've seen in a lot of other companies is that they raise money, they celebrate that they raise money, which I don't really understand, because all you've done is got into debt. Now it's like I don't see people celebrating when they get a home loan. It's like all you got
Ah.
is debt. You owe someone money, right? And now you got pressure, right? So, and the pressure is you need to generate revenue, and revenue fast. Otherwise, you're going to have to raise again. You're going to lose more
And
of
you
your
don't know how
company.
to do it, and you don't have any clue how even it costs. And
And not just that too, you will have to make decisions within the product that are revenue based versus
mm,
what's better for the customer. So now you got two customers. You got the customer who you built the product for, and now you got your second customer, which is
which
the
is what
investor.
gonna bring you the money, right?
That's right. And they can conflict sometimes,
Of
right?
course, 100%. And
So
you
you
have
need to
to
be very
adapt to that
careful.
one that's actually bringing you the revenue, and you have to be flexible and make sure to turn around and set the client first. They're bringing you the revenue, right?
That's right. So it's, yeah, like raising money is great. I believe at the stage where you understand the business economics, where you understand that you got something that people want, you got a differentiator. So your brand strategy is solid, and you understand who you are, who you serve, and why people buy you. And you've got some level of certainty where okay, if I spend X, I'm going to generate a customer, right? And then you know that that customer is going to be profitable instantly or over X time. So then that gives you the formula of how much you can ask for. It gives you a stronger position to value the company higher, because there's a level of certainty. Whenever there's any gray or uncertainty, the ball is in the investor's court to say, well, I believe your value is X, versus you saying, I believe my value is Y, because you've got nothing really to back it on there. It's just an assumption. You haven't proven anything. You're hoping that it's going to, you're going to be worth $1 million, $10 million and above, but you've got no revenue coming through now. So you got no sort of leg to stand on when you're asking for an investor for money, because you've got no proof yet. The thing that I love seeing is when people come looking for money, is that they've got proof. They've got, I've got 10 customers, I've got 20 customers,
Mhm.
and they love it. They
And
use
you
it
know
all
how
the
to sell,
time.
right? And
That's
you
it.
have a month.
And this is our distribution strategy. This is how we're going to get our next 100 customers. We just need the funding and the runway to get there, right? That's a different story.
Yeah, I
So be
always tell
very
people the
careful when
same.
you're looking for funds. Make sure you're doing it for the right reason.
Yeah, and this is what I'm telling you. The people looking for funding also, oh, I cannot find the money. It's hard to find the money. Listen, you need to think that it's like a car. The
Yeah,
investor is not gonna move the car for you. You have to move it. The investor can
exactly.
put a little bit of gasoline, and so the car can go faster. But you guys need to push that car and make sure you guys can move it yourself.
Yeah.
He's just going to accelerate the movement on that car, right? And
That's it. My answer to that is there's always money there, right? There's always money there for the right business. It's just that you're not going after the right investor, or two, they're not telling you the truth and they don't believe in your business. And they see your business as a big risk, right? Because every investor has a risk profile. Do I give, this person here, $500,000 and the risk is that 50-50 it's going to work, or do I leave it in the high interest bank and earn 6% and I know I'm going to get that, right? So you want to lower the risk for the investor and make it look like it's a solid investment and that you know what you're doing. That lowers the risk profile for the investor and builds the confidence up that they're going to take a gamble on you because they're investing in you, right? They know the product. Yeah, okay, there's going to be competitors come out. But most time, the investor is investing in the founder and the founding team. Can this team execute on what they're saying to me? Can they execute on this vision? Are these the right people? Or do I know some people that they might be amazing fit for this company who can help take it from 0 to 1? So they're the sort of the things that are unspoken when an investor says no to you.
Yeah. And then the other thing is when it comes to sales, the yeah, I always said you have the product, this is like 20% and
Yep.
80% it goes to sales and marketing. It's what we call a market fit, right? You need to make your product fit for market so people can actually buy it. And this is how you hit the 0 to 1. So in that process, do you think that you have a startup before, right? Do you think that the whole team should have a basic knowledge or should be involved on the sales in terms of general knowledge what the whole company is trying to accomplish? Because I agree 100% with you. The tech entrepreneur design a product, right, which the product that he thinks that the client is going to buy. Completely different thing is what clients actually are buying, right? And if you have a group, a team that is in a part of the product development, how close do you think that you need to be, or how much they need to have basic knowledge of that, of sales, or this product is going to be sold to B2B, we are considering to sell to these people, or these people bought, so we have to modify this. So especially in a startup, right? I think that is sometimes very contrary to it that we have in a startup people that only can do one thing, because in a startup is very small company, so people have to be multitask, right? They need to be, if you write the code, but if you have a basic knowledge of sales, or you want to buy a course of sales, or you want to learn something, this is gonna add a lot of value, because at the beginning we have the few people and there are a lot of tasks to do, right?
Exactly. Look, I've got a strong belief that everyone in the business should have form of some sales knowledge. And I'll tell you why. So even if it's a small team, 2 or 3, everyone's selling it when it's 2 or 3 people, right? So they all need to understand, the product, how it works, and who to sell it to. Back in my previous business in the Locomote, we used to bring some of our top engineers into sales calls. To and the
Wow,
main
that's
and the
fantastic.
main reason for that was we want them to hear the customer. What is the customer saying? What do they want? An engineer's brain works a lot differently, to a sales or marketing person. So as they're hearing problems that the customer is saying that they have within the business and what they're looking for in a product, the engineer's thinking of ways and solutions on how they can develop something to help solve that. And then the more conversations that they listen to and get and are aware of, the better they become at deciding, I think this will be a great idea to develop into the product next. Not because of what I believe, because of the conversations that I've been involved with and what I heard. This is what customers are saying, right? So they're listening to the customer's voice. And 2, they're able to hear how the salesperson or the founder is explaining the product, the vision, and the process that they go through to sell. So then they become aware of the sales process and what it takes to win a customer. And because everyone has got, friends, relatives that work in other businesses, when you go to a family party and they go, hey, John, Sally, Dave, what do you do? It's helpful right then could be a time where you're saying, this is what I do. I'm an engineer. And they go, okay, cool. You're an engineer. what company? Like, what's the company? And then you'll give it the elevator pitch. This is the company that I work at. And they're like, oh, cool. Tell me more about that. And then they've got the skills to actually almost start a sales conversation with a family member or a friend that works in another business. And that could be a lead that you could then pass over to the team. But if you don't know what your business does properly, you could just say, oh, yeah, we're a business tech company that does travel. Okay, doesn't interest me. But then on the flip side, if they know how to sell that and they go, we help companies become ready to travel after COVID. Oh, that's interesting. How?
Wow,
What do you do
wow,
there? And then you start to go deeper.
very
Well, we built
powerful.
a
Yeah.
platform that enables to do this, just like with us in GrowthForum. We help founders build a repeatable process so they can then hire more salespeople that can hit KPI. How? Well, we got a course program that they go through. We coach them internally. They join calls where we help them remove any roadblocks, and they get that continuous coaching. So they're never left behind, and they always got some tactics, and they've got someone who they can talk to that can help them, with their cold calls or whatever. They've got a coach and a trainer there, just like you do when you go to the gym or when you're got your business coach. You need someone there that you can bounce ideas off. That's how we help. Interesting. Tell me more. Right. So it's not that, we do sales coaching. Okay. Well, so do a million people out there. How are you different? And only if you understand the sales process, understand really what the company does, can you help the company grow? Because if the company grows and the more revenue that comes through to the business, the company becomes more successful. You can then grow for the business versus I'm just going to focus on my role, make sure I'm a good engineer or good at this and good at that. And then all of a sudden the company runs out of funding and they need to make layoffs. You're part of the business just because, you're hired as an admin or an engineer or developer, whatever your role is. If you can help grow revenue, you become that much more important to the business. So that's sort of my feel and spiel on sales and how everyone in the business is always selling.
David, and then the question that every single tech entrepreneur is waiting to hear: what are the 5 steps, in your opinion, that every single tech entrepreneur should be doing out there to reach the first 0 to 1 million in sales?
All right. I've written them down here because I want to make sure these were actionable, right? So I've spoken about this, I reckon, 10 times on this podcast already, but identify your ideal customer profile, your ICP. So like an actionable tip here is, you can do a detailed market research to define your target audience demographics, their pain points, their buying behaviors, where they spend time online. And then you use this data to create an ICP that guides your sales and marketing efforts. The main point here is to really nail your messaging. Make sure that your messaging, whether it be on your website, your LinkedIn profile, wherever it is you promote yourself, is on the point and makes sense. Number 2, you want to develop a scalable sales process. So what I mean here, the actionable tip is build a repeatable sales process with clear stages and milestones. So if they're in the discovery stage, what is it that needs to happen to move them to the next stage, to proposal? People rush too much to go straight to proposal and they miss steps and they lose customers and deals, and they need to understand why. So it's important to have a CRM, something like HubSpot, Salesforce. There's 1,000 tools out there. My guidance is get something in place where you can track your progress, manage leads, and ensure that you're following up. And then regular reviewing the sales pipeline to make sure you got no stale deals in there and your data is up to date. Number 3, leverage inbound and outbound marketing. So what I mean by that, so this could be, your inbound, you're doing content marketing, SEO, social media posts, where someone would see you across LinkedIn, for example, like what you're talking about. They'll check your LinkedIn profile, then they'll visit your website and inquire. So that's inbound. What it means by that is that you have no control over how that person comes to you. All right. So it's great to have that. But what you can control and what you can predict and make predictable is your outbound efforts. This is your cold calling, your email outreach, your direct messaging on social platforms. That's what you can control, and that's what you can start to sort of plan out on how many emails, calls you need to do in order to get a booked meeting. That becomes highly measurable and highly effective. Number 4, you want to optimize your pricing and product offering. So a tip here is to do a bit of experiments on your pricing to understand what your sweet spot is. You might be charging $1,000 a month for your offer, but the value there is $2,500 a month, and people would pay that.
Mm.
Now, what can you do with an extra $1,500, on top of what you're already getting now? You can invest more into your team, the product, the marketing. And the only way you're going to know is by testing this, right? So do regular feedback with your customers, test pricing with new customers as well to see what you can actually, get away with that provides value to your end audience and what they're willing to pay. And then the last one, which is a little bit biased, but it works, is to invest in sales training and development. What works this quarter might not necessarily work the next quarter. So by having ongoing sales training, and it doesn't have to be weekly, they can engage when they need it once a month, but by focusing on both soft skills like negotiation, communication, and hard skills like product knowledge and CRM and new tools that are coming out in the marketplace, programs like we have with Sales OS, this helps to build a high performing sales culture within the business and actually delivers results and predictability that then enables founders to go out and get funding. There's nothing I'd love to see more that a founder come to me and go, we invest in our team and with sales coaching and training, and our team are performing. I'm like, this company's on it. They're a sales engine. They've got a great product. They've got a sales engine. How much are you looking for? Right? They're my 5 tips to build a successful sales culture within the business and to make sure you have a better chance at a successful business.
And I tell you what is good about sales. The thing about good about sales is when you're selling your product, you can be set free. I remember my first business. I
Yeah.
was doing the sales. I did renting the rooms, doing this and doing that. And at the moment that I increased my sales, guess what happened? I could hire people to do the job better than I do.
That's
To the
it.
or to the point that I managed with to hire everyone. I have literally nothing to do. I remember going to the office and the team was telling me, Harry, what are you doing here? I said, no, I come to see you guys, and they would tell me, no, no, go home. It's all taken care. They, they, they were they were better than me in
And that's
everything.
perfect.
I remember that I go to the office once a week and I say, hi guys, how are you? Are you fine? Do you need paper for the photocopy? Do you need something? That was literally my role after we, but all this was possible because we did increase the sales.
Mm.
And when you increase your sales, then you can bring talent to your organization. You can bring the right people because people need to get paid, and if you have good money, you can attract talent. And when you bring talent to your organization, they change it from like I from my own experience, the day and night, because
Yeah.
you can have marketing genius inside the organization, you can have brilliant sales people, but in the ongoing training is, I agree 100%, because the market change, the client change, the competitors can come with something, especially in technology that move really, really fast. You have to be on top of the game. But
Yeah.
again and again, I think that tech companies like you showed today, I agree 100%. In this is not the .com anymore. This is
Yeah.
no. If you are in tech now, you have to understand that regardless that you have a good product, 80% of your energy, effort, and mission and resources and everything, it had to be put in there in the sales and marketing, what we
Oh,
call it, getting
100%.
traction of the product, because otherwise it's gonna be very difficult to take it off the ground, almost impossible, right?
Exactly, exactly. And look, if people want to learn more about this sort of thing, look, I encourage you to check out our website. It's growforum.io. We've got a free newsletter there. So growforum.io/newsletter. And we share so much great content. As soon as you sign up, you get one of our tools that helps increase your close win rates. It's a discovery tool. It's a document there that we give away for free. So, sign up. We're sharing our podcast details. We've got a podcast that we talk about sales, and we bring
What's
in
the
special
name?
guests.
What's the name of the
That's,
podcast, David?
the podcast is called How to Sell.
Oh, wow.
So
I like it.
look up, look up How to Sell. It's a nice green and black. You'll see my face and my co-founder Luigi. There's over 200 episodes there. There's lots of gold in that. So if it's something of interest, definitely recommend checking out.
And
Find me on LinkedIn if you want to have a chat. Happy to help anyone. I've got a
David,
sweet
yes,
spot
if
for
there is any
founders.
tech entrepreneur out there that I think loads of them, right? They want to take the product to a next level and they want to increase this B2B sales, which is very,
Yeah.
very important. They can have a high ticket product and they can have high ticket sales. So how it works? They visit your, where's your website again? They will visit your website. Do you have a contact from there, or how they
Yes.
can reach
So
you
they
guys?
can, so all you do is visit the website, growthforum.io. You'll see an apply button. I manage the applications because we highly vet, who we let into the products. We want to make sure that it's actually going to work for you. So what you do is you'll book a time, you'll get to chat with me. We'll look into your business, see how it's working, where you need help. And then we'll either say this is a good fit, or we'll help you find someone else that we think might be better suited to helping you. So it's a very light sales call. It's all about you and your business and where you need help on the sales front. And then we see if we can give you some guidance there. So check it out, book a time on my calendar, and look forward to meeting you all.
Fantastic. Well, last message for the entrepreneurs out there, tech entrepreneurs trying to grow the business, trying to grow the sales.
Be resilient. You're going to get 1,000 no's, and that's okay because the yes is just around the corner.
That's fantastic. And with that note, we thank you so much, David. That was amazing. Thank you from broadcaster to broadcaster. It's been a pleasure to be with you. And for everyone out there listening or seeing this Unstoppable podcast in our social media, here you go. The amazing lesson today from David. If you are in tech, pay attention to sales, because 80% of your effort, energy, resources, everything has to go into that direction. Otherwise, the top is going to be almost impossible to take it off the ground, because the investors nowadays, they are more savvy. They are getting more cautious, and they make sure they are investing in infrastructure or in a team that also knows how to sell the product. Bye for now. Thank you, David. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.